Welcome back, you ungovernable force wrapped in human skin. You weren't supposed to walk into this world with this kind of voltage. But here you are, still burning, still bending realities you never agreed to inherit. And the funniest part? They've tried everything to measure you, categorize you, contain you. Until one day, that little hidden circle of robed intellectuals, mystics, and power-obsessed analysts decided to take matters into their own trembling hands. A secret society, the kind that thinks they see everything before it happens, tried profiling your energy. They approached the task with confidence, arrogance, and the delusion that they had the right tools to dissect someone like you. They gathered their relics, lit their rituals, sharpened their interpretations like scalpels. They believed they'd extract your blueprint, decode your frequency, map your inner world, as if it was just another artifact in their vault. But the moment they opened the file on you, the moment they tried to pull your essence through their precious little frameworks, their entire system buckled. You weren't a mystery. You were a miscalculation. And the final report they generated, not recruitment material, too dangerous to handle. It started quietly, the way things always begin when the universe is about to embarrass people who think they understand it. They gathered in their candle-lit chambers, the walls carved with sigils, the air thick with old power, all of them convinced this was just another assessment. But your energy didn't enter the room like a guest. It entered like a verdict. They tried reading you the way scholars read ancient manuscripts, slow, precise, self-assured. Yet the closer they reached, the more their instruments faltered. Their scrying bowls stuttered with static. Their astral charts flipped into unusable chaos. Their pendulums swung with frantic confusion, refusing to settle. Their incantations trembled back into their throats. You didn't disrupt their tools. You overpowered them simply by existing. When the Coven initiated the scrying segment of their procedure, they expected clarity, a vision, a silhouette, a whisper of your soul. Instead, the mirror cracked, not dramatically, but intentionally, like it recognized you before they did. The fracture didn't create a spiderweb of random destruction. It formed a single line, sharp as a warning, spelling only one thing in the shimmer of shattered reflection. Access denied. That was their first hint that you are not something to be invited into a circle. You are the circle that devours the ones who enter it without permission. They tried again, refusing to believe a reflection could defy them. They placed new mirrors, polished and consecrated. Yet every time they attempted to pull your essence forward, the surface glitch-cracked with the same message. Access denied. Access denied. Access denied. Some of them whispered theories. Some of them felt their stomachs tighten. Some of them finally understood that your energy doesn't flow through channels. It breaks them. Their attempts to decode you were no different from moths trying to study fire without getting burned. They didn't account for the possibility that the fire wasn't a phenomenon, but a consciousness. And that consciousness was you. They switched to their psychological profiling approach, believing knowledge of the mind could grant them insight where mysticism failed. They attempted to frame your motives, map your behavioral patterns, predict your triggers, your fears, your inclinations. But you aren't a pattern. You're a paradox wrapped in precision. Their personality models fought for footing, clashing with one another. Their projections contradicted themselves. The more they tried to narrow you down, the wider the gap grew between their interpretations and your actual nature. They realized they weren't studying you. They were chasing you through the corridors of their own limitations. The head analyst, a man who had spent decades profiling anomalies, wrote in his notes that your energy defies linear comprehension, that your aura cycles unpredictably, Not because it's chaotic, but because it's adaptive. You evolve too quickly for frameworks to keep up. He described the sensation of reading your field as standing in front of a locked door that keeps rebuilding itself every time you think you've found the key. You're not unapproachable. You're ever-shifting, a moving target with intention. Then came the deeper, quieter tests. The ones they don't document for the public part of their archives. Astral sensitivity examinations, energetic resilience measurements, threshold stability checks. Most people break somewhere during this process. You didn't break. You inverted the process. Their energy readers overloaded, their sigils dimmed, their protections flickered as if something on your frequency knocked politely, and the walls begged to open, terrified of refusing. You weren't fighting them. You weren't resisting. You were simply being. And that was enough to unbalance everything. One of the practitioners tried reaching into your timeline to see your origin point. She fainted, not from fear, but from recognition. Recognition that your timeline wasn't a thread. It was a wildfire. You weren't shaped. You erupted. You weren't taught. You remembered. You weren't built. You emerged. This was the moment the Coven began to understand that you aren't just different. You are disruptive by nature. When they moved into the final stage of profiling, the initiation readiness assessment, they expected either compatibility or rejection, but they received neither. The chamber lights dimmed, the air thickened, their runes flickered in protest, and the system that measures spiritual voltage sparked violently, marking your reading not in a number but in a warning, not recruitment material. Too dangerous to handle. No one had ever triggered that category before. It wasn't meant to be used. It was a theoretical label, the kind reserved for legends, monsters, or deities, entities whose power exceeds containment. You didn't fail their test. You broke the premise of the test itself. The society gathered to review the results, every one of them sitting in that dim chamber, with your name glowing on the parchment like a threat. They whispered about your unpredictability, your immunity to manipulation, your refusal to be categorized. They wondered how someone outside their lineage, outside their teachings, outside their ancient contracts, could carry this kind of gravitational pull. They questioned whether you were a phenomenon or a warning. They debated whether your existence was intentional or accidental. But the part that rattled them the most wasn't your power. It was your sovereignty, your unowned, unclaimed, uncontrollable. And to a secret society built on hierarchy, obedience, and curated power distribution, that's the most terrifying trait of all. The Coven scribes described you as something that walks without leaving tracks, something that moves without needing pathways, something that sees through structures instead of around them. Their attempts to read you made them feel as though they were the ones being read. And in a way, they were. Your soul doesn't tolerate intrusion. Your energy doesn't allow uninvited entry. You don't respond to extraction. You respond to intention. And their intention, hidden beneath ritual and curiosity, was exposure. They wanted to know what you were made of. Instead, they discovered what they were lacking. They feared your clarity. They feared your immunity to illusion. They feared the way you stand alone without craving belonging. But what truly broke them was this: you don't seek power. Power seeks you. You aren't impressed by their rituals, their rankings, their lineage, or their hidden doctrines. They realized you'd never kneel. You'd never obey. You'd never dilute yourself for the sake of belonging. They saw that even if they offered you a place among them, you'd simply look at it, tilt your head, and walk away. not out of arrogance, but because your destiny doesn't fit inside their walls. The final decision was unanimous. They sealed your file. They archived the report with trembling hands, and they issued an internal order. Do not approach this subject again. They didn't blacklist you. They ghost-listed you, the silent category reserved for entities whose existence is acknowledged but never engaged. To them, you are not a potential ally or recruit. You are a force of nature to be monitored from afar, studied with caution, and respected like a living omen. And yet they can't stop thinking about you. Your name circulates quietly through their meetings. Your presence lingers in their rituals. Your energy haunts their chambers like a shadow that wasn't supposed to follow them home. They are unsettled not because you rejected them, but because you didn't even have to. You were simply unavailable, unreadable, unreachable, uncontained. They didn't fail to recruit you. Recruitment was never an option. Their mistake was believing you were seeking anything from them. Their mistake was assuming they had something you didn't. Their mistake was thinking your power was a trait instead of a state they can't induce, replicate, or domesticate. And the truth is, they didn't discover you. They stumbled into your orbit and immediately felt the gravitational distortion of someone who doesn't fit into hierarchies, but bends them. Someone who doesn't join circles, but redefines them. Someone who doesn't need validation, because they carry their own authority like a weapon forged in silence. You weren't meant to be their student, their project, their experiment, their potential recruit. You were the audit they never prepared for. Their assessments weren't designed for someone who has already outgrown the structures they worship. And now, as they reread their own report, as they replay the cracks in the mirror, the warnings in the air, the failures of their rituals, they know what they encountered wasn't a candidate. It was a threshold. And thresholds aren't entered. They are crossed. They are survived. They are respected. And this, right here, this realization, this fracture in their certainty, this crack in their control, is where the story slips into something deeper, something they never meant to unleash, something they still don't understand. Because what they saw was only the outer layer of you. What they sensed was only the pulse. What they profiled was only the echo. And yet they're already unraveling. What happens when they discover what's underneath that surface? What happens when the mirror isn't the only thing that shatters? What happens when the society realizes they didn't profile you? They awakened something they can't put back to sleep. The unraveling began the moment they filed that report. A parchment stamped with your name, the warning classification, the cracked mirror insignia marking your file as a hazard. They thought documenting you would close the case. They thought sealing the folder would contain the energy that spilled through their rituals. But they didn't understand that your energy doesn't wait to be studied, and it doesn't sit obediently in archives. It travels, it echoes, it imprints. The moment they wrote, "Too dangerous to handle," they bound themselves to an outcome they weren't prepared to face. Because labeling you dangerous doesn't protect them from you. It protects you from them. The universe takes such declarations seriously. So while they whispered about you behind locked doors, something was shifting in their chambers. Something no one could see but everyone could feel. Their candles flickered out of rhythm. Their runes dimmed at random. Their relics moved a fraction of an inch when no one was watching. Nothing overt, nothing dramatic, just subtle echoes of a presence they never invited but accidentally invoked. See, when they first tried profiling you, they treated your energy like data. They believed your essence could be indexed, categorized, stamped, and stored like every other recruit they'd assessed before. But your energy isn't a file, it's a frequency. And once they tapped into it, even briefly, traces of your frequency embedded themselves in their system. Their wards couldn't block it. Their sanctuaries couldn't contain it. Their scholars couldn't decipher it. Because your frequency has one defining feature, sovereignty, it does not obey. Some of them sensed it early. The younger initiates felt chills they couldn't explain. Their dreams became heavy with symbols they didn't recognize, fractured mirrors, shifting shadows, and a pair of eyes watching from the threshold of their subconscious. A few pretended they weren't affected. A few pretended they didn't know what they had done. But the most experienced ones knew. They could feel the aftershock of touching something they weren't meant to touch. They recognized the familiar pattern of an ancient warning. Do not attempt to measure what exists outside measurement. Your energy wasn't reacting to them in anger. It wasn't retaliating. It was simply refusing to be forgotten. When a secret society tries to erase what terrifies them, the universe forces them to remember it. So their rituals began failing at odd moments. Their readings became inconsistent. Their symbols lost precision. Any divination tool that once attempted to map your essence now produced errors. Some cracked, some overheated, some simply went dark. One of the elders attempted to reset the scrying mirror used on you. The moment he placed his hand on the frame, it fogged over and revealed the same message they thought they'd escaped. Access denied. His hand trembled for the first time in decades. That's when the internal fear began to shift into something more primal. They started questioning whether your energy was following them, or whether they had stepped into a part of your field they didn't have permission to enter. The difference is subtle but terrifying. One implies pursuit. The other implies trespass. They started to understand that your energy doesn't need to attack. It simply holds its position with such force that anything unprepared is pushed into disarray. You didn't invade their domain. Your domain extended into theirs the moment they invoked your name without the right to do so. This is the part no one wants to admit, not even to themselves. You altered the architecture of their spiritual environment just by being witnessed. Their most advanced practitioners began seeing distortions when they meditated. Their visions became non-linear, their intuitive pathways tangled. The chamber walls felt alive, listening, reactive. No one dared say it aloud, but everyone felt the same unsettling truth. Your energy didn't stay in their mirror. It seeped into their temple stones, their sigils, their breath. They didn't understand how, but they understood why. You were never meant to be profiled, not because you're too powerful, but because your energy belongs to a category outside every hierarchy they've designed. They operate in ranks, levels, tiers, circles. You exist in an axis they do not possess language for. They call it dangerous because they don't know what else to call what cannot be tamed. The panic came in slow waves. Not loud panic, quiet panic. The kind that spreads in silence. The kind that makes people look over their shoulders without knowing what they're looking for. The kind that tightens the air. It began with the elder responsible for classifying your energy signature. He reported seeing shapes move in his peripheral vision whenever he thought about you. His candles refused to stay lit while writing your file summary. He spoke to no one about it, not because he was hiding it, but because he feared saying it aloud would make it more real. But it didn't matter. Everyone else in the chamber was experiencing their own version of the same thing. The scry practitioner saw your reflection in the water even when she wasn't calling on you. The archivist heard faint tapping on the cabinet where your file was stored. The head seer felt a pressure behind his eyes every time your name was mentioned, as if someone or something was observing him back. They tried purifying the chamber. The incense died mid-burn. They tried reinforcing their protections. The glyphs flickered. They tried ignoring the signs. The signs intensified. And that's when they realized the real issue wasn't your energy. It was their audacity. You didn't breach their sanctum. You didn't send a warning. You didn't retaliate. Your energy did nothing except maintain its boundary with perfect, sovereign stillness. That alone destabilized everything they believed about power, control, and hierarchy. Because a force that doesn't have to react is a force that cannot be dominated. Their panic deepened when they realized something even more disorienting. Your file was evolving, not physically, but energetically. When the archivist opened it days later, the air pressure in the room changed. The parchment containing your results felt warm. The ink shimmered faintly. The cracked mirror symbol they stamped onto your record pulsed once, just once, but enough to make the archivist stumble backward as if the paper exhaled. The society's elders gathered again, forming a circle around the file like it was a volatile artifact. The head elder placed his hand over it, not touching, hovering, measuring the energetic residue. His eyes widened. He felt a current in the parchment, as if the energy they attempted to assess was still alive inside the file, refusing to be contained by ink or terminology. He whispered the conclusion they all feared but already knew. We didn't analyze them. We awakened them. That sentence marked the true beginning of their unraveling. Not because they believed you would attack them, but because they realized your energy had observed their attempt to study you and chosen not to tolerate it. You didn't retaliate with violence. You retaliated with truth. The truth of your nature. The truth of your origin. The truth of your sovereignty. And they finally understood. Your existence is not something they can categorize. It is something they must respect. Their dreams grew stranger, more vivid, more symbolic. Some saw a threshold they weren't allowed to cross. Some saw a closed gate. Some saw themselves staring into a mirror that refused to show their reflection. All variations of the same message. Do not enter where you are not invited. They attempted one final test, an observational one, a harmless scan of your aura from a distance. A simple reading meant to offer closure. The moment they initiated it, the chamber temperature dropped. The candles extinguished, and their reading crystals fractured down the middle, not in chaos, but in perfect symmetry. The crystals weren't reacting to you. They were refusing the assignment. Access denied. The same message that cracked their mirror. The same message that crushed their confidence. The same message that told them what they were now being forced to accept. You are not a subject to be studied. You are not an energy to be categorized. You are not a phenomenon to be documented. You are an event, a threshold, a force, a warning wrapped in a human figure. And that's when they realized the true danger wasn't that you were too powerful to handle. It was that they never had permission to try. Your energy wasn't reacting to their intrusion. It was simply correcting their error. Because when a coven crosses into a frequency that isn't theirs to touch, something ancient steps forward, not to harm them, but to remind them of the laws they forgot. That ancient reminder didn't come as thunder, flames, or chaos. It arrived through silence, a silence so heavy it felt like the air itself stopped participating in their rituals. In that silence, their breath sounded too loud. Their thoughts felt exposed. Their intentions felt naked. Because for the first time in their history, The watchers became the watched. The chamber shifted subtly, the walls holding a tension they couldn't identify. The elders exchanged glances, the kind shared between people who have seen power before but never felt it push back. Not like this. Not in a way that bypassed their protections, ignored their hierarchies, and held them accountable without uttering a single word. They tried to resume their rituals, pretending nothing had changed. But everything had. Their chants felt hollow. Their sigils refused activation. Their sacred tools sensed the disturbance before they did. Nothing responded the way it used to. Nothing behaved according to their rules. Their entire structure felt compromised, not by damage, but by presence. A presence that didn't belong to them, yet didn't threaten them either. It simply stood there, occupying space their arrogance once claimed as theirs alone. This is what unnerved them the most. Whatever they woke wasn't interested in their rituals, their status, or their lineage. It wasn't even interested in them. It existed independently, sovereignly, unbothered. It treated their existence the same way you do, like background noise barely worth acknowledging. Their panic deepened in the quiet. Because when an ancient force chooses not to destroy you, it means the destruction was never the point. The lesson was, the head seer finally broke the silence, his voice cracking under the weight of a realization he didn't want to say aloud. We crossed into an origin we do not understand. Origin. They had tried profiling your energy, assuming it had a lineage, a pattern, a structure they could trace, backward. But nothing in their archives aligned with you. Not your volatility, not your immunity, not your mirror-cracking sovereignty. Their texts warned of forces that don't descend from any known tradition, forces that neither ascend nor fall, but exist outside the cycle entirely. They always believed those records were metaphors, until you walked into their mirror. Now they weren't just facing you, they were facing the implications of you. And the implications were rewriting their entire understanding of what power looks like when it doesn't ask for permission. Their elders retreated to discuss the situation privately, though nothing about their gathering felt private anymore. The atmosphere carried the echo of their earlier mistake, summoning what should never have been summoned, poking into a frequency that observes the observer. They sat around a circular stone table, parchment spread before them, hands trembling, trying to reanalyze the conclusions stamped on your file. Not recruitment material. They could accept that. Too dangerous to handle. They could rationalize that. But what none of them had the vocabulary to express was the truth rising in their throats like a storm they couldn't swallow. They didn't reject you. They were rejected, not personally, not emotionally, cosmically. Your energy didn't deny them because it disliked them. It denied them because they weren't compatible with the frequency they attempted to access. It's the same reason the mirror cracked. Mirrors don't lie, but they do refuse. And your reflection wasn't something they were allowed to hold. The more they tried to analyze this, the more the room itself resisted. A thick unease settled into the stone. Their candles burned unevenly, casting shadows that stretched longer than they should. Their voices echoed strangely, as if the chamber was replaying their words back to them with distorted intention. And then came the second fracture. Not in a mirror this time, in their ranks. One of the younger members, bright, zealous, desperate to prove her worth, suggested they try again. A second attempt. A refined ritual. A deeper reading. She believed the first failure was a miscalculation. She believed everything could be solved with stronger protection, better accuracy, clearer intention. The elders reacted instantly. No. A single word, authoritative, final. But the girl didn't understand the weight of what they had unleashed. She didn't understand that your energy wasn't a puzzle they could solve with upgrades or determination. She didn't understand that access denied wasn't a warning, it was a boundary. Boundaries don't negotiate. The elders explained nothing. They couldn't. Their egos were wounded, their certainty shattered. How could they admit aloud that they had touched something beyond their comprehension? Something that refused their authority without effort? Something that mirrored their intentions, not with hostility, but with indifference. The younger member grew frustrated. She accused them of fear, of stagnation, of weakness. She raised her hand, preparing to speak your name again, hoping defiance would earn her a place in the society's inner circle. The lights flickered, her voice broke. A chill swept through the chamber like an unseen hand placing a warning on every spine in the room. Not anger, not threat, correction. She lowered her hand slowly, trembling from something she couldn't articulate. Something she felt in her chest, not as fear, but as recognition. She wasn't facing something external. She was facing the truth of her own limitations. You didn't silence her. Her own energy did, bending under the pressure of your frequency. The elders said nothing. They didn't need to. The room had answered for them. From that moment, the Coven didn't debate you again. Instead, they turned their focus inward, trying to understand how something they invoked only once had managed to ripple through every layer of their sanctum. They examined their tools, their rituals, their glyphs, their intuitions. They searched for corruption, interference, spiritual contamination. But there was none. Everything failing within their circle wasn't corrupted. It was recalibrating. Your presence didn't pollute, it purified. Their illusions, hierarchies, and ego-driven structures were dissolving under the weight of your authenticity. Energies that relied on secrecy, manipulation, and control cannot coexist with energies rooted in sovereignty, clarity, and truth. One by one, their symbols stopped responding to their usual commands. One by one, their readings began returning blank. One by one, their confidence cracked the same way their mirror did. They finally understood. Your energy wasn't punishing them. It was revealing them, revealing their overconfidence, revealing their fragility, revealing that their authority was conditional, not absolute, revealing that power borrowed through ritual is nothing against power woven into existence. The head elder wrote a second note. This one never meant for the archives. Whatever we awakened is not hostile, it is sovereign. We were trespassers, not targets. That's when the fear turned into something else. Not dread, not panic. Something far more humbling, reverence. Because they finally grasped the truth. You were not meant to be initiated. You were meant to be acknowledged, not as a member, as a threshold, a guardian frequency, a force that isn't invited into circles because it creates them. And yet, even with this realization, one question tormented them. If the echo of your energy dismantled their sanctum so effortlessly, what would the full presence of you do? What would happen if you ever stepped into their circle willingly? What would happen if you ever looked into their mirror intentionally? What would happen if you ever decided to awaken the part of yourself they accidentally touched? That question became their new haunting, because the more they tried to suppress it, the louder it echoed in their minds. The more they tried to ignore it, the more the mirror's fracture shimmered in their memory. The more they tried to distance themselves from your file, the more the file pulsed with quiet inevitability. For the first time, the society questioned its own existence. not because you threatened it, but because your existence made theirs feel small, fragile, outdated, performative. Their rituals were powerful. Your presence was definitive. Their hierarchies were rigid. Your energy was fluid. Their knowledge was inherited. Yours was remembered. They realized what they awakened wasn't something they could study or recruit. It was something they would spend the rest of their lives trying to understand. And deep down, beneath their robes, titles, and rituals, they feared the same thing. You haven't even shown your real power yet. You haven't stepped into their circle. You haven't opened the mirror. You haven't lifted a hand. Everything they're experiencing is just the echo. That realization settled over the society like a shadow that refused to fade. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a curse. It was a truth, quiet, sovereign, and immovable. A truth that reshaped the air in their chambers, the tone of their meetings, the cadence of their rituals. Every elder felt it in their bones. Every initiate sensed it in their spirit. They tried to continue with their duties, tried to move on, tried to pretend that profiling you had been just another assignment. But nothing felt ordinary anymore. Every task felt smaller. Every invocation felt weaker. Every attempt to read the unseen felt diluted and distant, as if your presence had shifted the equilibrium of their entire practice. Because once you encounter a frequency that overrides your own, everything you do afterward feels like performance. The society's oldest scholar, a man who had catalogued anomalies for over 60 years, admitted privately that he had never felt energy like yours. Not chaotic, not malicious, not divine, just sovereign. And sovereign energy doesn't enter spaces seeking approval. It enters as itself, without negotiation, without compromise, without need. He realized, perhaps too late, that profiling you had been their mistake, not because they failed to understand you, but because you were never something meant to be understood through measurement. You were meant to be understood through experience, and they experienced you in the wrong way, uninvited, unprepared, unaligned. The ripple effects of their mistake continued to spread. Their rituals grew heavier, their visions grew dimmer, their mirrors grew quieter. Where once they saw clearly, now they saw static. Where once their intuition flowed, now it stumbled. Where once their sanctum felt impenetrable, now it felt watched, not by hostility, but by accountability. Their tools had not lost power. They had lost permission. The universe doesn't punish arrogance. It redirects it. Some of the younger members began questioning everything. If an outsider's energy could collapse their protocols, what did that say about the strength of their order? If a mirror cracked, rather than reveal your reflection, what did that say about the limitations of their sight? If their tools fractured under the weight of a single unidentified presence, what did that say about their control? Their questions spread like hairline fractures across the society's foundation. The elders tried to silence the panic subtly, reminding their ranks that anomalies are rare, that power beyond understanding appears once in a generation, that sometimes the universe presents forces not meant for recruitment. But beneath their calm explanations, their eyes revealed a truth they couldn't hide. They had never encountered anything like you before. Not in old scrolls, not in forbidden tomes, not in whispered legends. Every teaching they possessed about dangerous energies warned of entities that attacked, entities that deceived, entities that consumed. But you didn't attack, you didn't deceive, you didn't consume. You simply refused. And refusal, when done by a sovereign force, carries more weight than destruction, because destruction ends something. Refusal exposes it. The society wanted to forget you. They wanted to erase your file, burn the documents, pretend the mirror never cracked, pretend their tools never failed. But the universe doesn't allow people to forget what they weren't meant to touch. Every time the archivist tried to remove your report from the vault, the cabinet stuck. Every time the elders attempted to destroy the parchment, the flames resisted. Every time an initiate tried to speak your name, dismissively, their throat tightened just enough to remind them of boundaries. Your energy wasn't haunting them, it was correcting them. They weren't victims of your power. They were witnesses to their own limitations. Some nights, their chambers felt colder than the stone should allow. Some nights, their candles fought against invisible drafts. Some nights, a faint hum filled the air. The same hum they heard when the mirror cracked. The same hum their instruments emitted before failing. The same hum that marked the moment they realized they were dealing with something that didn't fit into any of their known categories. But the hum wasn't your presence. It was your echo, reminding them that presence isn't required for impact. The society began avoiding the chamber where they attempted to read you. Even those who claimed to be unshaken found excuses to reroute their tasks elsewhere. The air in that room felt different now, as though the stone remembered you, as though the walls had absorbed the lesson and now radiated it back quietly, steadily, unavoidably. That chamber became an unspoken threshold, a place of caution, a reminder of boundaries, a silent monument to a power they touched but never reached. Meanwhile, outside their sanctum, the world moved as it always does. But you carried on without knowing or caring what your echo had done to them. You didn't feel the need to respond. You didn't feel the need to investigate. You didn't feel the need to retaliate or correct them. Your energy doesn't chase. It doesn't chase validation. It doesn't chase explanations. It doesn't chase those who attempt to dissect it. Your path continued forward. Their consequences remained behind. Yet the deeper truth, the one that unsettled them the most, was this. Even without your attention, you were changing them. Not intentionally, not maliciously, but inevitably. Your existence revealed the limitations of their framework, the fragility of their rituals, the arrogance of believing they could profile what was never meant to be analyzed. Their greatest fear wasn't that you might attack them. Their greatest fear was that someone like you exists at all. Someone who stands without lineage yet carries ancient resonance. Someone who walks without blessing yet moves like prophecy. Someone who does not ascend or descend but remains centered in their own axis. Someone whose energy cannot be read because it cannot be reduced. Someone whose refusal carries more force than any spell they have cast. Someone they cannot classify, initiate, recruit, manipulate, or contain. They could have handled an enemy. They could have handled a threat. They could have handled a rival. But a sovereign they cannot touch. That is what unravels empires. As days passed, the society reorganized its practices around the gap you left behind. They revised protocols. They strengthened wards. They created new classifications to prepare for future anomalies, though secretly, they all understood none would match your resonance. They attempted to rebuild their confidence through busy work and ritual repetition. But every time they stepped before a mirror or attempted a scry, there was always a moment of hesitation, a flicker of fear that the surface might crack again, reveal a message, deny access, deny them, deny the illusion that they were ever in control. Their greatest scholars debated your origin in hushed conversations. Some thought you were a long-lost lineage. Some believed you were a cosmic anomaly. Some argued that you were a return, a reawakening of an ancient archetype meant to balance excesses of control. But the theory that scared them the most was the simplest. You were simply yourself, unmodified, unmanipulated, untrained, powerful, not because of heritage, but because of alignment. Alignment cannot be taught. Alignment cannot be profiled. Alignment cannot be recruited. The society finally accepted what the mirror tried to tell them the moment it cracked. You do not belong to their circle. You never have. You never will. You walk a path that predates their rituals. You operate on frequencies they only read about. You carry a clarity they try to simulate through ceremony. You move in truth while they move in structure. You are not denied to protect you. You are denied to protect them. Because if the echo alone destabilized their sanctum, imagine what would happen if you ever decided to step fully into your power, consciously, intentionally, without restraint. They realized that if you ever lifted a hand, it wouldn't be destruction that followed. It would be revelation, the kind that collapses illusions, dissolves false hierarchies, and exposes every fragile construct they've built to feel powerful. Your presence would not shatter their circle. It would render it irrelevant. And that revelation, more than anything, was the wound they couldn't heal. Their fear wasn't rooted in danger. Their fear was rooted in inadequacy. Not because you threatened them, but because your existence proved that their mastery wasn't mastery. It was containment. Containment of smaller energies, containment of familiar forces, containment of predictable recruits. You are not predictable. You are not familiar. You are not small. You are the outlier their doctrines cannot hold. So they did the only thing a fragile structure can do when faced with a truth too large to absorb. They rewrote their interpretation of you. Not publicly, not ceremonially, but internally, silently. They shifted your classification from anomaly to omen, not a warning of doom, but a reminder of boundaries, sovereignty, and uncharted potential. Your file now sits alone, in a cabinet that no one opens without intention. The cracked mirror seal remains, pulsing faintly when touched. A reminder, not of failure, but of audacity. They didn't fail to understand you. They failed to understand their place in your story. Because you were never a candidate. You were never recruitment material. You were never meant to be seated in their circle. You were meant to stand beyond it, not above it, beyond it, beyond their comprehension, beyond their tools, beyond their reach, beyond their authority. And as the society quietly adjusts its rituals and reconstructs its confidence, they do so with the knowledge that somewhere outside their chambers walks a being whose mirror denies them, whose energy refuses them, whose echo recalibrates them, a being who has not even shown their real power, a being who has not yet stepped into their circle, a being who has not yet opened the mirror, a being who has not yet lifted a hand, a being who could reshape their entire existence with intention alone. You. And the truth they dare not speak aloud is this: if the echo almost broke them, the awakening will erase their illusions entirely. The society will continue, their rituals will continue, their hierarchies will continue. But they will never forget the moment the mirror cracked. The moment access denied appeared like a decree. The moment they realized sovereignty does not bow to secrecy. The moment they touched a force that cannot be profiled. They didn't just document you, they witnessed you, and witnessing you changed them forever. Your story does not end in their chambers. Your journey does not pause for their understanding. Your path continues forward, untouched, unburdened, uncontained. They tried to read you. Instead, they were rewritten, and now the world around you begins to shift, because the one thing they feared the most is finally becoming true. You were never meant to join a secret society. You were born to surpass what they believe is power. And now that they've seen the echo, they know the full force of you is not something they are prepared to meet. Not now. Not ever.